Welcome to this 25-minute yoga flow to help increase flexibility.
We are going to start seated on our mat
In Thunderbolt pose.
and then we're going to stretch our arms out to the front of the mat, coming into a child's pose. Just taking inhales and exhales. Grounding ourselves ready for the flow. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Just allow yourself to do one more cycle of this breathing to calm your body and your mind. Inhaling. Now we're going to roll our spine, coming into a cobra. Then exhaling, we push our bum back to our heels, coming back into the child's pose. We are just going to repeat this a few times. So inhaling as you come into cobra. And exhaling as we come back into our child's pose. Inhaling into cobra. And exhaling into our child's pose. One last time, inhaling as we come into cobra. Exhaling as we come into our final child's pose. Now coming into tabletop position, we're going to do a few cat-cows. So coming into cow, we're going to inhale. Coming into cat, we're going to exhale. Cow, inhale. Cat, exhaling. Coming back into a tabletop position now. We're going to lift up our right leg, extending it to the length of the mat, turning on the abdomen, and then we're going to lift the opposite arm, lifting the left arm and reaching towards the top of the mat. Now we're just going to bring the right leg out to the right side as we swing the left arm to the left side, and then bringing them back into center. Doing this a few times. And then bringing the left elbow to touch the right knee. And one more time, making sure to keep the core engaged. We're going to repeat. Now bringing the elbow back in to tap the opposite knee. And again. Bringing them both back down to the mat now into the tabletop position. Now slowly walking your hands forward with an exhale. Taking a quick puppy pose and taking slow deep breaths. Resting your forehead either on the mat or onto a block. Slowly lifting back up now, walking your hands towards you with an inhale to return to all fours. Lifting the left leg up now, parallel to the mat and in line with your hips. Just holding here for a few breaths. Engaging the core. Now with an inhale, reaching the opposite arm forward. Creating a straight line from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Now extending the left foot and the right arm out to the sides. Just like we did on the opposite side. Now bringing the right elbow in to touch the left knee. And repeating for one more time. Repeating those two movements again. And then coming back down into tabletop, neutral spine. And we're just going to come down back into our puppy pose. Keeping your hips over our knees. And seeing if this second time around you can sink your chest closer towards the mat. Remembering you can use a block to place under your head if needed. We're rounding our spine back up and coming straight into upward dog with an inhale. Taking some deep grounding breaths We're now going to flex our feet, lifting ourselves up and coming into our downward facing dog with an exhale. Just walking out our dog for a few breaths. Now straightening your legs, releasing your heels towards the floor, reaching our tailbone towards the sky and lengthening your spine. Bringing our right leg up into three-legged dog. Bending the knee and stacking the hips. Slowly now, with an exhale, bringing your right foot in between your hands. Knees aligned over your ankle, rise onto your fingertips and lengthen your spine. With an inhale, rising up into a crescent lunge. Arms reaching up to the sky, just making sure that your knee is aligned over your ankle. Closing your eyes here if you want to test your balance, just taking some deep breaths. Spinning onto the back heel, bringing yourself into Warrior Two. Keeping your arms shoulder height, we're just going to take some movement here. Swaying towards the top of our mat, and then swaying to the back. Stretching out our fingertips as if we want to touch something in front of us and behind us. Inhale, now reaching back into our reverse warrior. Coming into a slight back bend and gazing up toward your left hand. And now with an exhale, releasing into our side angle. Resting your forearm onto your thigh. Gazing up towards the sky or keeping your gaze on your mat. Rising back into Warrior Two with an inhale. Just taking some deep breaths. Repeating the same wave-like motion as before. And on your next inhale, we're lowering back down into our reverse warrior, seeing if you can lower your hand further down your thigh, creating a deeper back bend. Then on your next exhale, bringing ourselves back into our side angle, either keeping your elbow on your knee or bringing your fingertips to the floor just outside of your right foot. Slowly lowering back up, squaring off the hips again, coming back into our high lunge. Now bringing the knee down to the mat, coming into our low lunge, bringing both hands down to the mat. Moving now into our half split, straightening your front leg with an exhale, keeping your front foot flexed. This is not within your practice at this time. Placing blocks under your hands or bending the knee. Taking slow deep breaths. Bending the knee now, coming back into our low lunge. With an inhale, and then on an exhale, pushing back into our half splits. Just repeating this for a few times, focusing on the breath. Creating wave-like movements in the body. Now slowly coming onto your back toes, lifting up your back knee. And lifting the right arm up towards the sky, either keeping your gaze on the mat or looking up towards the top fingers, welcoming this twist into the spine. Exhaling, lifting up, and inhaling, bringing yourself into a twisted reverse warrior pose. Left arm reaching up to the sky, placing your right hand onto your left leg, keeping your right knee in line with your right ankle. With an exhale, bringing the right arm up to meet the left and slowly bringing them back down to the mat. Stepping back into plank pose and lowering into your chaturanga with an exhale, inhaling up dog and exhaling on your down dog. Seeing now if you can go deeper into your downward dog. Moving into the left side now, reaching the left foot up to the sky into your three-legged dog, bending the knee and stacking the hips, and then bringing the left foot in between your hands. Coming now back into our high lunge, reaching your arms up to the sky with an inhale. Now rolling onto the back foot, bringing yourself into your Warrior Two. Taking some moments here to realign yourself. I'm just going to spin around to face the camera, keeping your back foot rooted into the mat like the roots of a tree. Taking those wave-like movements again, reaching forward towards the top of your mat, and reaching back towards the back of your mat. Remembering to take those calming breaths, closing down the eyes here. On your next inhale, placing your right hand onto your right thigh, coming back into our reverse warrior. Reaching the left arm up and over towards the back of your mat. Exhaling now, reaching your left arm up and next to your ear. Left arm resting just above the left knee, back into our side angle. Lifting back into our warrior two with an inhale, and with an exhale, moving into the wave-like movements again. Exhaling as we roll forward and inhaling as we roll back. Closing down the eyes and just surrendering to this movement. And in your next inhale, releasing back into our reverse warrior. Acknowledging how your body will be able to go deeper within the asanas. Exhaling back into side angle. Now, if it is within your practice, like on the other side, you can bring your fingertips down to the mat outside of the left foot, extending the entire right side of your body. Lifting back up, squaring the hips, rolling back onto the right tiptoes, coming back into a high lunge. Inhaling here, and just taking a deep exhale. Keeping your back leg engaged and checking that your left knee is above your left ankle. Lowering your hands and bringing your right knee back onto the mat. Releasing the toes. Releasing back into a half split. Exhaling, straightening the leg. And inhaling, rolling our spine back into our low lunge. Supporting your weight on your fingertips. Inhaling, coming forward into low lunge. And exhaling back into your half split, keeping the front foot flexed. Now just surrendering into your half split for a few moments. Taking slow, deep breaths. If you're feeling more flexible, you can inch your foot forward, creating a more deeper stretch. On your next inhale, coming back forward into our low lunge. Now coming up onto the back toes, placing the hand back down onto the mat and slowly lifting up the back knee, reaching our arms up towards the sky with an exhale into our high lunge. And with an inhale, bringing the right hand onto the left leg, bringing the left arm up and creating a small back bend. Now adding on a variation. With an exhale, you can bring your left hand down to the outside of your left foot, reaching your right hand up towards the sky, following it with your gaze. Now bringing your gaze back down towards the mat, bringing your hands to each side of your foot, reaching up your left hand now towards the sky, either looking down or looking up towards the sky, keeping strength within your right leg in order to not let your hips drop. Squaring the hips off now, lifting ourselves up into our twisted reverse warrior. On your next exhale, cartwheeling the arms back down to the mat, stepping back into our plank, exhaling chaturanga, inhaling upward dog, and exhaling coming into our downward facing dog. Slowly rolling our spine forward, bringing our knees down to the mat, coming into our tabletop position. I'm just going to twist back to the other side, and with an exhale, lowering down into our child's pose. Arms reaching towards the top of the mat, head rested either onto your mat or onto a block. Just taking this moment to relax, taking deep breaths and feeling how different your body now feels compared to when you first started this class. Rolling the spine up now, and within your own pace, bringing your legs through into our staff pose, legs stretched out in front of us, hands placed behind us, lifting up into our reverse plank. Pressing your feet into the floor and lifting your hips towards the sky with an inhale. Relaxing your neck, either in neutral position. For my more advanced yogis, let your head drop back. With an exhale, lowering back down to the mat. Now bringing the left foot in towards the chest and crossing it over the right leg. Taking a small twist to the left side and bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Left hand is behind you, gazing either over your shoulder or just looking to the left side. Making sure to keep your spine nice and straight. Taking some deep inhales and exhales here. If this twist is too much for you, just bring your right hand and place it on top of your left knee. Coming back to neutral now and cradling the left leg with both of your hands and slowly lowering your back down onto the mat. Bringing your left leg in towards your chest. And adding some movement if you would like, rocking your knee side to side. Now placing your right hand onto the outside of your left knee and slowly lowering it down towards the floor, creating a spinal twist. And looking towards the opposite side. Reaching your left arm out, you can place a block under your knee here if you need to. Slowly bringing the left knee back in towards your chest. And now grabbing the outside of your left foot with your left hand, coming into happy baby, but just with your left foot, leaving your right leg extended. Slowly now releasing and bringing both knees in towards the chest. Rolling up back into our staff pose. Just gently placing the hands on top of the knees, repeating it all on the other side, bringing your right leg over your left leg, placing the right hand behind you and bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Or keeping your left hand just placed on top of your right knee if this twist is too much for you. It is really important in yoga to listen to what your body is telling you. Yoga is about the journey. It's not about how deep you can go into a pose. Releasing, bringing your right knee in towards the chest and rolling down onto your back. Swaying your right leg side to side. Now placing your left hand on the outside of your right knee and lowering it down to the floor. Head twisted to the opposite side and left arm stretched out. And just like on the other side, you can place a block underneath your right knee. Bringing that right knee back into the chest, grabbing on with both hands. And bringing your right hand to the outside of your right knee, bringing it up into our happy baby just on the right side, placing your left hand out to help with stability, leaving your left leg extended. Lowering the foot and bringing both knees into the chest. Bringing shoulders off the mat now to give yourself a big hug. You can either keep your hands wrapped around your knees or you can grab onto the outside of your feet, swaying side to side if you want to, or just remaining still. Lowering your head and shoulders back down to the mat now and coming into our full happy baby. Bringing your hands to the outside of your feet and just swaying side to side or remaining still. Taking inhales and exhales at your own pace, enjoying this moment of stillness. Bringing your knees back into the mat, just for a second, and lowering both legs back down to the mat, coming into a well-deserved Shavasana.
palms facing up towards the sky. Without Shavasana, we miss out the joy of post-yoga bliss. It brings our body to a state of deep relaxation and gives it a chance to absorb all that we have just done for it. It is about letting go and forgetting all our distractions and everything about the outside world, and just being within this present moment. Using this time to connect to a slower breath and meditating within this space that you have created. Doing a body scan and checking for any tension so that you may release it and be fully relaxed. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tongue, relaxing the fingers and the toes, and releasing into complete relaxation. Starting to slowly waken up the body now by gently moving your fingers and your toes, moving your neck side to side. Now bring your arms up above your head, coming into a pencil stretch, like a big morning stretch. Slowly rolling to one side into our fetal position, taking some final moments here just to take some breaths and just to give your body some more time just to wake up after that relaxing Shavasana. Gently and mindfully now, pushing yourself up to come into a seated position. Eyes closed, hands on the knees, taking a mudra here if you would like. Now rising our hands above our heads, bringing our hands into prayer position and slowly lowering it down to the chest. Inhale, arms up to prayer position, exhaling down towards the chest. Inhaling one more time, reaching the hands up towards the sky, bringing them in between your eyebrows to your third eye. And exhaling, bowing down May the divine light in me bow to the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and remember to be proud of yourself with what you have achieved today. Keep smiling.